Hello, and welcome to the third in a series of special retrospectives. I'm your host, Brian Hardy, and for the next half hour, I'll be bringing you a selection of remarkable stories from the past quarter century. The bi-provincial upgrader has changed the face of Lloydminster. It has provided growth, employment, and stability for the whole region. The project involved many years of planning and 4 years of construction, during which time Lloydminster became a boomtown. In this chapter of a special retrospective, we present reports on this facility from beginning to end in a part of the show called The Upgrader in Retrospect.
The agreements are signed.
Agreement is basically a joint venture making owners out of the federal government, the provincial governments, and Husky Oil. It is an agreement to build and operate the $1.3 billion upgrader here in Lloydminster. The project is expected to begin immediately and completed by the year 1992.
Today, we are confirming, I think, that something you've always believed and known, that Lloydminster is the capital of heavy oil in Canada, and this agreement's going to make sure that you're the capital for all the time to come into the future.
And it means diversification, it means the resources, it means community development, it means roads, and it means schools, and it means hospitals, it means building, it means homes, it means prosperity.
It appears that the real holdup was finding an agreement suitable to all parties. What they came up with is suitable and reasonable for all. Premier Grant Devine says private sector involvement is not being excluded and shares will be available to the public.
I don't want to see us, and I'm sure everybody in the room, wait till 1992, find that the oil prices are really going. They're building upgraders in Chicago because we're selling them heavy crude, and all our jobs are going out on a pipeline all the way to Alberta. Or to the United States from Alberta and Saskatchewan. We don't want to see that.
Everyone seemed pleased with the Holt announcement. Deputy Prime Minister Don Mazankowski was smiling all day. He had said before that he would not return to Lloydminster until he had some good news.
It's a very significant and historic day for Lloydminster. This is something that they have waited for a long time. And Husky have, by signing the agreement today, as they clearly indicated, the work starts immediately.
15% of the total construction at the upgrader is complete. Most of the foundation work is in the ground. A number of the large storage tanks are going up, and crews are presently finishing underground pipelines. The main concern right now is completion of the primary utility building, which they hope to have enclosed by the end of the year so that crews can work in relative warmth. The building will eventually contain 2 boilers and water treatment facilities. Project manager Greg Barnes says 90% of the engineering activity is complete as well.
There are 5 engineering contractors that we've had working for us for the last about 18 months, 2 of which are essentially complete now. Another one will be complete in another month or so, and 2 others will carry on until, one until the spring and the next one until June.
2 hydrocrackers, the heaviest pieces of equipment to be used on site, were constructed in Japan and have already sailed to Duluth, Minnesota.
Each vessel is 690 metric tons, and you may have seen them in the press recently as they were characterized as when they actually travel by rail in Canada, they will be the heaviest loads ever transported by rail in North America.
The first of the 2 hydrocrackers is expected to arrive by rail in late December. Husky officials say the only real problem they've encountered thus far is a concern for safety, and they're working on a plan to change that. Michael Higgins, NewsHour. The who's who of Lloydminster and luminaries from both sides of the border joined with the B. Fisher Foundation in saluting the bi-provincial upgrader. The evening of food and entertainment was organized to raise funds for the B. Fisher Center, the focus to recognize the contribution upgrader construction has made to the community.
I have one complaint about the bi-provincial upgrader. It's that you that have been involved, you have kept it as one of the best kept secrets, certainly in Western Canada.
Economic Development Officer Bill Condro told the gathering of 600 people construction costs tally more than $50 million a month, and that has a definite effect on the community.
That each and every one of us in this area, each and every one of us in Western Canada have been touched because of the upgrader. In our ways of life, our daily living, and our pocketbooks.
Among those in the audience, Phil Fraser, head of the Alberta Human Rights Commission, and Saskatchewan Premier Grant Devine took time out of his election campaign to pay homage to the B. Fisher Foundation and the upgrader.
And both things that we're talking about here this evening are about attitude. I've liked the attitude of the people who've worked with the bi-provincial upgrader, and I really like the attitude of the people who've been working with those with disabilities. In fact, Lloydminster might be a leader there. I don't hear anybody beating on it at all. They're happy that it's being built. It's positive. People in Saskatchewan know that there's an upgrader in Lloydminster. They know that. People work all the way from Saskatoon and beyond here in Lloydminster, which is very positive for Lloydminster, but it's jobs for people all across the province. So.
The evening was capped with entertainment by the touring group Saskatchewan Express. More than $12,000 was raised through the evening. Michael Higgins, NewsHour.
The upgrader is here, and it's now.
After a decade of discussions and 4 years of construction, both the upgrader and the border city are ready to celebrate.
So tough to finally get it started, and now the sense of accomplishment that it's a reality. So we should be grateful to those who participated, and we should be very proud that we officially open this plant today.
The bi-provincial upgrader is an excellent example of such innovative cooperation between governments and the private sector, and that is the kind of partnership that Canada needs increasingly if we are to compete and prosper in an increasingly tough and competitive market.
So the batch is on its way. The upgrader is officially open.
The switch was thrown this afternoon, signaling the completion of construction and the commencement of operations. Oil has been flowing through the $1.6 billion facility since last summer. With operations now moving towards full capacity, the upgrader has already pumped out more than 2.5 million barrels of synthetic crude, with daily production exceeding 35,000 barrels. And at 35,000 barrels a day, the upgrader is helping to create new demand for crude oil. Prices have increased from $6 a barrel prior to the start of production to $14 now, 3 to 4 of which officials claim is a result of the upgrader.
The best heavy oil reserves are viable at $10 to $13 a barrel, and they're not viable at $6 to $10 a barrel. This project has put the heavy oil production end of the business on the viable side as opposed to the non-viable side.
We have to have feedstock. A lot of these wells that are shut in will have to be opened up. Look at the development that will take place to feed this bi-provincial upgrader, and the demand for heavy crude is going to increase.
Border City residents will have their own opportunity to celebrate at a dinner and dance tonight and with bus tours of the facility through the weekend. Michael Higgins, NewsHour.